we do have Joey DeGraw here. He is the owner of the National Undergrounds in New York and Nashville. And I remember when that was just an idea, and also a singer-songwriter that's written for tons of artists. You've written for Joss Stone and Beyond and Gavin DeGraw, his brother, and you've really, made a name for yourself. So you have another album coming out that you're working on now. When is that kind of set to be out in stores?
Well, I just... It's kind of on hold, to tell you the truth, while we're opening this, the one in Nashville, the bar.
That's a big undertaking.
Yeah, it's like you can't do everything at the same time. So I'm trying to get open so I can get my publicist to work the EP, the record that we just did, and do the circuit television and all that stuff, but I can't do it all at the same time.
No, it's pretty impossible.
I have to sign everything there, and I can't have anybody else do it. Otherwise somebody else will wind up owning it accidentally.
Ooh!
Because I forgot to sign the right line.
See, that's not so good. So with the album, do you have a name for it? Anything like that going on?
No, I really don't. I didn't even name it. It's a 5-song EP, this one, Yeah. After I recorded my last record, it was released on our own label that my brother and I own, National Underground Records, but our distributor was Sony. Mm-hmm. So it's nobody buys albums as a whole anymore.
No, everything's singles,
yeah,
right?
It's all singles, and so I'm like, why am I busting my chops recording whole records if there's going to be I don't feel like I record filler tracks, Yeah. So I'd rather put out one at a time or two at a time so people can actually pay attention to them.
What do you think about young artists wanting to make it, trying to break through? Pretty much it seems everyone thinks they're an artist. Everybody has something on YouTube. I mean, look at that girl, Rebecca Black.
I don't know who that is.
Rebecca Black is this internet sensation. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of her, that did this song, It's Friday Night. I think she's 13 years old, and apparently the song was awful, but because it generated so many views, it led to her getting a record deal. And a lot of people were up in arms, but then Lady Gaga said, well, I haven't really heard her music, but I think she's fantastic. Don't bully her, as an anti-bullying campaign. So, I mean, a lot of things in entertainment, it's about hype and all that, but especially now with the internet, it seems like the oddest people are internet sensations and almost are detracting from the real natural talent.
Well, there's a lot of different spins you could put on it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I always thought, and I learned later on, when my brother and I were growing up, we actually really practiced hard, and I never spent any time trying to look like a musician. I didn't think I needed tattoos or getting the right place pierced or anything. I think a lot of people now think you have to look the part, and sometimes that supersedes actually becoming the part, or at least prepping. It takes a lot of work to become a decent at songwriting, if you have the aptitude for it, or singing or playing your instrument. They're trades. It's like a carpenter, you don't just pick up a hammer and build a house. It's a trade. I know a little bit about how, old Europe used to kind of try to support the artists. They would write songs for the church, and they'd kind of be put up, and the talent would, be taken care of, and that kind of thing. I'm not for social programs by any means, but it's just sad that a lot of there's not private companies that do that sort of thing. But a lot of the premise behind opening these National Undergrounds really is giving real artists a platform to perform. And believe me, I'm not saying I'm the savior of art by any means, but I really do sympathize for artists that can't make a dime, that are so good. Some of them are so awesome, and it just makes me so mad.
I mean, that
these people are making millions while these other people that are way more talented cannot even pay their rent.
You walk into Joey's bar, first of all, and it's just, you feel like you walked into almost back in time in a way, where it used to be these amazing voices. You go there and you have this little girl in the front who's bellowing jazz. And you're like, wow, where did that come from? And I feel like you kind of embrace all different kinds of singers. You have rock singers, jazz singers. You even had an R&B guy one night that I was very So you weren't there. There's a guy who was just like soulful. I was like, where did he come from? I mean, there's all different kinds. And downstairs you have like more of the hard rock, like electronica stuff sometimes goes on.
Yeah, some of the more amateur stuff is downstairs.
But at least you give them the place to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a lot of, like, I don't want to say snooty New York City girlfriends, but I do, and they're always like, let's go to the National Underground. I still enjoy the music.
They want to go slumming.
It's not slumming, though. It is enjoyable. And for those of you who might have questions on how do you open your own bar, how do you start a career in the music industry, you can raise your Paltalk hands. You can ask a question directly through a microphone. And if you don't have that, that's okay, because you can text in the question through Gary. He'll get it to me, I'll get it to Joey, and everyone will get everything they wanted to know out in the open. So we only have a little bit more time, but what I was going to ask was how, like with Nashville, like you said you just put it up. Like when do you think you're going to be actually opening it?
We're trying for in the middle of August.
Okay.
So hopefully around August 15th. My brother's doing a show with, he's doing a little tour with Train and Maroon 5.
Oh, yeah.
So they're playing at Bridgestone Arena right there, which is like 2-3 blocks from our place we're opening, on Broadway. So we're trying to get open. That's about the time we'll be open. So if we can get open right then, it'd be fun. We can announce it, from the stage and get a lot of local support. Because we want to be a neighborhood place too, kind of like we are in New York.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's very neighborhoody. Everybody knows everybody in that little area in LES. So for you going through Europe, what was that experience like?
It was pretty amazing. There's so much history there, especially for people that have never been there. It's a real eye-opener. Just, buildings were rebuilt in 1400. There's it's an old culture. It's in a lot of places it's very clean. It's really pristine. They could get away with a lot of the things over there that we can't over here. They don't have a lot of elements in their society that we have here. We're more of like still a little bit of a Wild West. That's out of them a long time ago.
Right. Well, it's interesting too because at Paltalk we're international, so we have people from Ireland, England, pretty much all over Eastern Europe, Eastern Asia. I mean, you name it. Everyone kind of writes in here. What was your favorite city? Because I'm curious in Europe.
In Europe?
To hear. Yeah.
I really loved Copenhagen. That was a beautiful place. Oslo also is amazing. Northern Europe in general has super high standards for everything. It's really clean. Everything works really well.
Do you think you're going to open a bar there one day?
I'd like to.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I visit you all the time. It'd be like free burgers, potatoes.
Yeah, I would love to.
No,
probably have to change the menu up a little over there.
Get like
have sausage and mash or something.
Yeah, a little bit more of that. Some of the people are asking what songs that you've written for different artists and what the songwriting process is like. Are you somebody who used to lock yourself up in a room and just be alone and write by yourself? Or?
Yeah. I never actually. It's I have a meeting on the 6th with Sony ATV. Troy Tomlinson, who's the president of Sony ATV Publishing in Nashville. And that's something that I never really wrote for other people. And that's kind of like, until I wrote that song for Joss Stone. And then I thought to myself, like, I should be doing this more, I guess, Because I was always somebody that just wrote for themselves and played for themselves. And then when Joss asked me to write for her, then I just started thinking about writing for other people, and that's a whole career.
Yeah.
But I never thought about that. Then again, I never thought about playing guitar as a career. I never thought about voiceovers as a career. I never thought about anything that I've done as a career. I always thought it was just fun.
You have a really good voice, though.
Well, thank you.
Do you have like a certain voice that you do? Can you just do like a cool, like moody voice?
Well, that's a movie trailer thing. In voiceover world, there's like a promo department, which is like for the past 3 years, I was the voice of the channel A&E. So I did all the promotion for that. You would hear like, on the next episode of Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, like all that stuff. So
Such a good voice. I love that.
they would have, that's the promotional stuff. And actually now I'm the voice of Mobile One.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the stuff that you're going to see, the Motor Oil, and they just did a big campaign with NASCAR and everything. But you'll see those commercials too. But that's commercial. So
Right.
There's promo, which is like A&E and other channels, and there's like commercial, and then there's like trailer, like movie trailer stuff, which is mostly done in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done some of it, but haven't had the time to get involved as deeply.
They make
as
their
I'd like.
voice so big, and they're like, and then he was a boy,
Yeah.
and then he became a man. I can't do
From
it.
a world. They have that guy in House.
Yeah. I heard they make like $2 million, $3 million a year. Some of these
probably,
guys,
yeah.
they make crazy amount of money, and I think that's one of the lessons that I've learned is that there are so many ways to make money in media.
Who knew?
You just
My
have to be
guidance
super
counselor
creative.
told me to be a corrections officer in high school.
You are kind of tough, and you lay down the law, and I would not want to get on your bad side.
No, well, it wasn't because of that. It was because of my academics, I'm sure.
Oh.
Well, I'm from a prison town. Like my town, the economy, my hometown, the economy is prisons. There are prisons there. Hence the phrase in my brother's big hit song, a prison guard's son, because our father was a prison guard, and our Uncle Pete, our dad's brother, he was also a prison guard. But that's the whole economy there. So that's why my guidance counselor was like, well, time to be a prison guard. You're done with high school. And, I was like, what are you, crazy? I don't want to do that,
What's interesting, though, is the DeGraw family seems so encouraging of your, musical abilities. It was never, like, a lot of kids have to fight their parents, and I think they have to say, like, no, I don't want to be a prison guard. No, I don't want to be a teacher. Like, I have this passion, and I want to be an artist. And a lot of parents would be like, going to be an artist? How are you going to make money? How are you going to put bread on the table? And my dad wanted to be a singer growing up and a performer, and his father was like, no, be a postman, because it was the idea of, like, living to eat.
Yeah, you got to make a living first.
Right.
But we also had that. There was that element also. I think more so for me than for my brother because I'm the older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think parents probably learn from mistakes that they've made with their children and learn not to care so much about certain stuff or care more about other stuff. But I think with me, my parents definitely tried to push to go to college, and get a college education. I think that by the time they realized that they couldn't push me into doing something I didn't want to do, then they didn't even try with my brother. Because my brother, actually, he wanted to be a doctor growing up.
That is very surprising.
Yeah, he always said, I'm going to be a doctor when I grow up.
So you said he was very academic and book smart and always hitting the books for the most part, right?
Well, he cared about doing his homework, which is something that I cannot say. He cared about getting his homework done, and him and my mother used to do his homework every day. His homework was done. They did.
I love that.
It was really funny.
That's funny. You're like, Mom, do my homework with me.
They really were into it. My mom would just say, what did we get,
Oh,
What grade did we get?
God, I need to get, like, one of my things right now, I'm getting my master's in mental health counseling, and the one thing that I would love is to find someone to do my homework with me. That'd be awesome.
I don't want to do anything that is called homework.
Okay, well,
a lot of the stuff that we all do homework.
You could do an application that's called Counseling and Psychotherapy. Let's do this weekend if you want. You can help me out.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I just got Joey DeGraw to do my homework. We only have like a minute left. So with that, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And you can check out joeydegraw.com. You can check out nationalunderground.com. If you're in the New York City area visiting this summer, I highly recommend you come to the Lower East Side and you see the National Underground and hear all the music and eat one of those burgers. And if you're in Nashville and it's opened in mid to late August, check it out because it's sure to be a good time. And I'm excited to hear the EP because he is really a quite amazing songwriter, singer. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Diana.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys this Thursday. I have a special guest who has a new Bravo show coming up. So that should be fun, and he'll give you some inside scoop if reality is real at all. I'll talk to you soon.